Welcome to Have a Question. This is our series where you ask me a question about the Bible, about theology, and I do my best to give you answers. Today's question is, why does John tell us they caught 153 fish? So this is found in John 21, and it says, "After this, Jesus revealed himself again to the disciples by the Sea of Tiberias, and he revealed himself in this way. Simon Peter, Thomas called the twin, Nathanael of Cana in Galilee, the sons of Zebedee, and two other of his disciples were together. Simon Peter said to them, 'I am going fishing.' They said to him, 'We will go with you.' They went out and got into the boat, but that night they caught nothing. Just as day was breaking, Jesus stood on the shore. Yet the disciples did not know that it was Jesus. Jesus said to them, 'Children, do you have any fish?' They answered him, 'No.' He said, 'Cast the net on the right side of the boat, and you will find some.' So they cast it, and now they were not able to haul it in because of the quantity of fish. That disciple whom Jesus loved, therefore, said to Peter, 'It is the Lord.' When Simon Peter heard that it was the Lord, he put on his outer garment, for he was stripped for work, and he threw himself into the sea. The other disciples came in the boat, dragging the net full of fish, for they were not far from the land, about 100 yards off. When they got out on land, they saw a charcoal fire in place, with fish laid out on it, and bread. Jesus said to them, 'Bring some of the fish that you have caught.' So Simon Peter went aboard and hauled the net ashore, full of large fish, 153 of them. And although there were so many, the net was not torn. Jesus said to them, 'Come and have breakfast.' Now none of the disciples dared ask him, 'Who are you?' They knew it was the Lord. Jesus came and took the bread and gave it to them, and so with the fish. This was now the third time that Jesus was revealed to the disciples after he was raised from the dead." So going back to our question, why does John tell us they caught 153 fish? For a long time, people have been asking this question. It's interesting that John is so specific, especially because in other passages, even in John, they aren't exactly specific when they count things. So in Luke 5, a group of fishermen are catching fish, and it just tells us that they catch a large number of fish. Why didn't they count the number of fish there? In John 6, Jesus feeds 5,000, and we know that that's not that they literally counted every single person. They had 5,000 on the dot. It's an estimation. There's about 5,000 men, not including women or children. Similarly, Jesus also fed, at one time, 4,000 approximately, not including men and women, not including women and children. So the question comes back, why does John get so specific? Because John tells us that before they caught a large number of fish, and then he tells us in verse 11 that it's full, the net is full of large fish. So why does John get so specific? And it's been a question for thousands of years at this point, since it was written. Is this what is called gematria? Now, gematria is a big, scary word, but gematria, now I'll give you an example of it that most everyone knows. You know an area of the Bible that talks about this idea of gematria. You might not know it, but you do know it. And gematria is when a number value has a corresponding word with that value. The biggest example, the easiest example that you're going to already know of is 666. All right, right here, 666 in Revelation, after the Antichrist and the false prophet are revealed to us, John, the same John, by the way, writes, "This calls for wisdom. Let the one who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is," so right here, calculate the number of the beast, "for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Now, 666 isn't about barcodes or any of those things. 666 is a number that corresponds to a word that has that value. And how that works in ancient writings is I'll do this in English, but understand it's the Greek and Hebrew alternatives. The letter A has a value of 1, B 2, C 3, and then you go all the way up to 10. Once you get to 10, the values start increasing, and then you have, 20 and 50 and 100 and all of this stuff. For example, Jesus in Greek, Yesu, adds up to 888. So the question then becomes, is this number 153? Is this the same thing? Is John trying to give us a little wink for people who want to go a little bit deeper with it? Now, let me preface this by saying this isn't something to base your salvation on. This is not something that is so extraordinarily important that it just has to be the right thing. This is a little bit of speculation. It's thinking about the Bible. It's thinking about theology. It's just having some fun. Don't take it overboard, is what I'm trying to say. Don't take it overboard. There's not gematria everywhere in the Bible and all these Bible codes and all this stuff. If it's in a few places, like I said, it's definitely in Revelation chapter 13. It might be here. It might not be. But we do have something that makes sense. You'll recall in Matthew 4:18 that Jesus is finding his disciples. And it says in 4:18 of Matthew, while walking by the Sea of Galilee, Jesus, he saw two brothers, Simon, who is called Peter, and Andrew, his brother, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishermen. And he said to them, follow me, I will make you fishers of men. Jesus takes these disciples who are already fishermen, and John and James, by the way, are in a boat fishing, presumably, and they also leave the boat and follow Jesus. So it kind of brings the whole scene in John brings back how Jesus found them originally. Jesus found them originally in their boats as fishermen. And he says to them, follow me and I will make you fishers of men. Then fast forward, Jesus dies on the cross and he's resurrected, and one day comes and Peter says to some of the other disciples, I'm going to go fishing. And who shows up but Jesus? And Jesus tells them after a night of just poor fishing, hey, cast your net over to the right side, and lo and behold, they catch a load of fish, a large number of fish, a large number of large fish, and it happens to be 153. Well, it's interesting that in the Greek, there's a term, B'nai Elohim. B'nai Elohim. It is sons of God. And the number value happens to be 153. There's a lot of history that this is what we think 153 means. It means sons of God. John is trying to give us a little wink. He's trying to give his readers a little hint that remember how Jesus says, I'm going to make you fishers of men. Well, I'm going to help you. I'm going to make you fishers to find the sons of God. And this is an incredible truth that Jesus calls us sons, that God calls us sons. In Romans 8:14, it says, for all who are led by the Spirit of God are sons of God. Matthew 5:9, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. This word sons of God, and if you've heard me talk about this before, you've heard me say that women need to be comfortable being called sons and men need to be comfortable being called brides, because we are, as the church collectively, the bride of Christ, and we all as Christians are sons of God. We are inheritors. We are those who sit with God, who rule and reign with him, who are seated in the heavenly places. And that's what it means. We are part of the family of God. And not only are we part of the family of the King, but we're sons. We're those who inherit. We're those who rule with them. So whatever you're going through today, whatever life has handed you. Maybe you're going great with the Lord, but maybe you're struggling. Remind yourself that if you're a Christian, if you're a believer in Jesus, you are a son of God. You are one who is seated with him in the heavenly places. He has called you to a high calling, and so step into that calling. Do life with him. Seek him today, and he'll make you a fisher of men.